Part 11 of Eros and Psyche by Robert Bridges. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Nathan at antipodeanwriter.wordpress.com. Eros and Psyche by Robert Bridges. Part 11. January. But Eros, now recovered from his hurt, felt other pangs. For who would not relent, weighing the small crime and unmatched desert of Psyche with her cruel punishment? And shamed he grew to be so near allied to her who by her taunts awoke his pride, as his compassion by her spite unspent. Which Aphrodite seeing waxed more firm, that he should never meet with Psyche more, and had in thought already set the term to their communion with that trial sore, which sent her forth upon a quest accurst, and not to be accomplished, that of thirst she there might perish on hell's torrid shore. And now it chanced that she had called her son into her presence chamber to unfold Psyche's destruction, that her fate might stun what love remained by duty uncontrolled. And he, to hide his tears' rebellious storm, was fled, when in his place another form rose neath the golden lintel, and behold, Psyche herself in slow and balanced strain, poising the crystal bowl with fearful heed, her eyes at watch upon the steadied plain, and whole soul gathered in the single deed. Onward she came, and stooping to the floor, set down the cup unspilled and brimming o'er at Aphrodite's feet, and rose up freed. Surprise overcame the goddess, and she too stood like a statue, but with passion pale, till when her victim nothing spake, she threw some kindness in her voice, and bade her hail. But in the smiling judge 'twas plain to see, saying, "What water bringest thou here to me, that justice over hate should not prevail?" Then Psyche said, "This is the biting flood of black Cocytus, silver'd with the gleam of souls that, guilty of another's blood, are pent therein, and as they swim they scream. The horned snakes of hell upon the mount, enchained for ever, guard the livid fount, and but the fates can grant to touch the stream." "Wherefore," the goddess cried, "'tis plain that none but one I wot of could this thing have wrought. That which another doth may well be done, nor thou the nearer to my promise brought. Thou buildest on a hope to be destroyed, if thou accept conditions and avoid thy parcel, nor thyself accomplish aught. Was it not kindness in me, being averse to all thy wish, to yield me thus to grant thy heart's desire, and, nothing loath I worse, if thou wouldst only work as well as want? See, now I will not yet be all denial, but offer thee one last determining trial, and let it be a mutual covenant. This box," and in her hands she took a pyx, square cut of dark obsidian's rarest green, "take, and therewith beyond Tartarian Styx go thou, and entering Hades' house obscene, say to Persephone, if 'tis thy will to show me so much favour, prithee fill this little vase with beauty for love's queen." She begs but what shall well overlast a day, for of her own was much of late outspent, in nursing of her son in bed who lay, wounded by me, who for the gift am sent. Then bring me what she gives, and with all speed, for truth to say I stand, thou seest, in need of some such charm in my disparagement. If thou return to me with that acquist, having thyself the journey made, I swear that day to give thee whatsoever thou list. And be it my son, now Psyche, wilt thou dare? And Psyche said, "If this thou truly mean, I will go down to Tartarus obscene, and beg of Hades' queen thy beauty there." "Show me the way," but Aphrodite said, "that mayst thou find, yet I will place thee whence a way there is. Mortals have on it sped, ay, and returned thereby, so let us hence." Then swift to earth her willing prey she bore, and left her on the wide Laconian shore, alone at midnight in the darkness dense. 'Twas winter, and as shivering Psyche sat, waiting for morn, she questioned in her mind what place the goddess meant, arrived whereat she might descend to hell, or how should find the way which gods to living men deny. No Orpheus, nay, nor Hercules am I, said she, to loosen where the great gods bind. And when at length the long delaying dawn broke on the peaks of huge Taygetus, and Psyche through the skirts of dark withdrawn looked on that promontory mountainous, and saw high crested Teleton in snow, her heart sank, and she wept with head bent low, the malice of her foe dispiteous. And seeing near at hand an ancient tower, deserted now, but once a hold of men, she came thereto, and though 'twas all her power, mounted its steep unbroken stair again. Surely, she said, for now a second time she thought to die, this little height I climb will prove my shortest road to Pluto's den. Here must I come to Tartaros. Once there, turn as I may, and straight to death had sprung, when in the mossy tower the imprisoned air was shaken, and the hoary stones gave tongue. Stand firm, that rugged voice outcried, of such as choose despondency for guide. Hast thou not heard what bitterest fate is sung? Hearken, for I the road and means can teach, how thou mayst come to hell and yet escape. And first must thou, that upper gate to reach, along these sea-girt hills thy journey shape, to where the land in sea dips furthest south, at Taenarus and Hades' earthly mouth, hard by Poseidon's temple at the cape. Thereby may one descend, but they that make that passage down must go provided well. So take in either hand a honey cake, of pearled barley mixed and hydromel, and in thy mouth 2 doits, first having bound the pyx beneath thy robe enwrapped around. Thus set thou forth, and mark what more I tell. When thou hast gone alone some half thy road, thou wilt overtake a lame out-wearied ass, and one that beats him tottering neath his load of logs, and beats in vain, will cry, Alas! Help me, kind friend, my faggots to adjust. But thou that silly cripple's words mistrust, 'tis planted for thy death, note it and pass. And when thy road the Stygian river joins, where woolly Charon ferries over the dead, he will demand his fare, one of thy coins, force with thy tongue between thy teeth thy head, offering instead of hand to give the doit. His fingers in this custom are adroit, and thine must not set down the barley bread. Then in his crazy bark, as ferrying over the stream thou sittest, one that seems to float rather than swim midway twixt shore and shore, will stretch his fleshless hand upon the boat, and beg thee of thy pity take him in. Shut thy soft ear unto his clamour thin, nor for a phantom deed thyself devote. Next, on the further bank, when thou art stept, 3 wizened women weaving at the woof will stop and pray thee in their art adept, to free their tangled threads. Hold thou aloof, for this and other traps thy foe hath planned, to make thee drop the cakes from out thy hand, putting thy prudence to perpetual proof. For by 1 cake thou comest into hell, and by 1 cake departest, since the hound that guards the gate is ever pleased well to taste man's meal or sweetened grain unground. Cast him a cake, for that thou mayst go free, even to the mansion of Persephone, without more stay or peril, safe and sound. She will receive thee kindly, thou decline her courtesies, and make the floor thy seat, refusing what is offered, food or wine, save only beg a crust of bread to eat. Then tell thy mission, and her present take, which when thou hast set forth with pyx and cake, 1 in each hand, while yet thou mayst retreat, giving thy second cake to Cerberus, the coin to Charon, and that way whereby thou camest following thou comest thus, to see again the starry choir on high. But guard thou well the pyx, nor once uplift the lid to look on Persephasa's gift, else 'tis in vain I bid thee now not die. Then Psyche thanked the tower, and stooped her mouth to kiss the stones upon his rampart hoary, and coming down his stair went hasting south along the steep Tyrrhenian promontory, and found the cave and temple by the cape, and took the cakes and coins, and made escape beneath the earth according to his story. And overtook the ass, but lent no aid, and offer'd Charon with her teeth his fee. And passed the floating ghost in vain, who pray'd, and turn'd her back upon the weavers three. And threw the honey cake to that hell hound, three-headed Cerberus, and safe and sound came to the mansion of Persephone. Kindly received, she courtesy declined, sat on the ground, ate not, save where she lay. A crust of bread reveal'd the goddess mind, the gift took, and return'd upon her way. Gave Cerberus his cake, Charon his fare, and saw through hell's mouth to the purple air. And one by one the keen stars melt in day. A while from so long journeying in the shades, resting at Taenarus, she came to know how up the eastern coast, some 40 states, there stood a temple of her goddess foe. There would she make her offering, there reclaim the prize which now 'twas happiness to name, the joy that should redeem all passed woe. And wending by the sunny shore at noon, she with her pyx, and wondering what it hid, of what kind, what the fashion of the boon could be that she to look on was forbid. Alas for innocence, so hard to teach! At fancy's prick she sat her on the beach, and to content desire lifted the lid. She saw within nothing, but over her sight, that looked on nothing, gan a darkness creep. A cloudy poison, mixed of Stygian night, wrapped her to deadly and infernal sleep. Backward she fell, like one when all is over, and lay outstretched as lies upon the shore a drowned corpse cast up by the murmuring deep. End of part 11. Recorded by Nathan at antipodeanwriter.wordpress.com.